complicated geometry problem. I've tried to film this a couple times. It's been challenging, but we're gonna try it. We're gonna try it again today. So what I haven't done, what I plan to do, is to walk you guys through the design of the boat, the things we considered as we were trying to design it, the things that we were talking about, you know, different spaces and being able to camp in it, being able to store it, being able to have different kind of interchangeable parts, and so all of that is leading up to this this final thing. You guys saw in previous episodes that when we mocked it up with cardboard, we were planning to put a bow extension on it, but also a stern extension. The bow extension, which we kind of worked with a couple of videos ago, we made some stringers along the front. That's going to be pretty self-explanatory. We just have to pick the angle and cut the decking. But the stern is going to be a bit more complicated. So the stern, we're going to have some framing lumber. We're going to have what we're kind of calling fiberglass wings that come off the back to support the upper decking, and we're all going to see that. So we're going to try and tackle this and see what happens. Okay, let's do it. Okay, so this is the area right in here that we're kind of talking about. So I did in the previous versions of this, I kind of walked through some of my ideas. I showed some sketches, which you'll probably see somewhere around here. And so in those sketches, I was talking about how I kind of wanted to tackle the wing. And so the reason we're doing this is so to carry this line through on the outside of the boat and then wrap it through, because back here is going to be the rudder and the tiller assembly, but we're also going to have kind of infill pockets here where we could have a cooler, where we could put a live well if we wanted to go fishing, so it would hang into the water. So it's going to be open to below, but to carry the line through, we're going to build this kind of wing, fiberglass the whole thing to the boat, and put a deck on top. And so to do that, we're going to be roughly framing a sort of wing thing. And so what I've done, which you guys didn't see, is I've taken a piece of chipboard and kind of traced the profile of the wing and cut it out on a piece of framing lumber. And then all I'm doing now is just kind of assembling this thing and then maybe kind of carving it to shape. But yeah, a lot of it's just going to be me kind of messing around and seeing what I can come up with, and then get a rough idea of the assembly of it, and then make a final version and see if we can do it. But yeah, so that's the plan, so wish me luck. Okay, so update. We have now gotten to the point that we were before we started, which is good stuff. So I remade the wing, because this one, we had cut the profile of the hull in it in the film that I had filmed previously. And I just think that's getting too complicated, especially for a rough up, especially as we're trying to deal with a lot of angles. So to kind of give you guys an idea of what we're doing, we're trying to carry the line of the boat through. And so the line of the boat not only curves in one direction, and it curves in two directions. And so it's curving up as well as curving over. So it's a compound curve, and we're trying to mimic that in framing lumber. So what that means is not only do we have to cut a miter, we also have to cut a bevel at the same time. And each one of the cuts is different because it needs to tilt up and tilt down and tilt over at different times along the curve. And so I just wanted to give you guys an update on what we're doing. So I cut the miter and the bevel of the first one. I cut the miter of the top, and now I've cut the miter and the bevel of the back one. And so now I'm going to put this piece here to kind of frame this whole area in here. And then I'll cut the bottom chord, and then I'll probably see if I can cut a middle support. And then at that point, the rough up will be done. So yeah, continue to wish me luck, guys. We're doing it. Okay, no time lapses for this video. It would have been pretty disappointing. So we're here. It's not perfect by any means. The distances here and the distances here aren't exactly what I'm looking for. I want this to be a little bit higher. So on the back of it, where windows and the back plate that will support the deck. This is going to start high and then it'll swing down low, or some kind of design or something on the transom, or kind of a fake transom. But yeah, so we've got kind of a model to work from now. I don't know if we're going to need a support in here. We might put one just for strength, but I mean, all of this is going to get coated, or I guess skinned with some kind of flexible plywood or some kind of press board, and the whole thing's going to be fiberglassed, and then it'll be bolted to the boat, and then it'll be fiberglassed in. So it'll be plenty strong for what we're doing. But yeah, it's happy to see it kind of come together. I might mock up another one on the other side now that I kind of got a rough idea of what I'm doing. But yeah, so it's good. We'll continue on, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you. See you guys. Now we're done. No, I had sat there for a bit and I was like, made one side, might as well do the other side. So now we're done. So you guys can see, I edited the profile a little bit, made it a bit more of what we're going for. Cut the back piece, cut the camber on it, and then just roughly attached it to the boat just to keep it out of the way and off the floor. This obviously is temporary, just to hold the whole thing together until we get it, figure out what we're going to do with it. Yeah, it needs some more refinement, needs some sanding. We're going to talk about a couple of different ways how we're going to do the contours, how we're actually going to sculpt to pull the lines through. But yeah, the framing is looking pretty good. Obviously the rudder sits down in here and hangs below. The trolling motor will have an access point there. But yeah, it's good stuff. We're making progress, which is always good to see. So yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I will see you in the next one. See you guys.